Hi team, here is Kawa. She's been nice and relaxed here at Ballarat since she arrived. Obviously it's not very far from the stable to here, but she's in good shape and I'm happy to see her relatively relaxed. Probably if it was a little warmer we might see her sweating a touch. She's just having a little bit of a think about it, but overall she's relaxed, and as you can see, for a horse in what is now midwinter, she looks absolutely fantastic. I think she'll definitely come on for the run, that's for sure, but I think she's fit enough to put in a good performance here, providing this distance is to her liking. And I think it is. I think it's a good distance to kick off at. We're drawn well in a small field. I've said to Owen, the jockey, just to, you know, let her break and look, have a bit of a plan to lead, but we're not going to send her to the front. We're not going to ask her aggressively to jump and put herself on the lead. I don't think we need to, and given the way she can be in her work, I really wouldn't want to see her doing too much in her in the early stages of the race and then not quite see out the 1400. So what I'm hoping is that we naturally break into the leading spot and that everyone leaves us alone, and they're more than happy to slot in behind us. And if they do that, I think we can then assess the pace and manage the pace ourselves and gradually improve all the way to the line, rather than have to do too much early and leave ourselves with nothing left late on. So if that, in that dream scenario, if that works out for us, then I think she's got a good chance today. If she breaks a little slow and ends up behind the pace, then it'll ultimately come down to her ability and whether she likes this distance or not. So there's a lot to learn today. Hopefully she'll just impress us, but there's a few things to find out. You know, does she like the body track? Does she like this distance? Is she ready to go? And you know, I'm hoping certainly that she impresses us, even if she doesn't win. Hopefully she puts in a good performance. All right, thanks a lot guys, and good luck.
And they're away. Sussex Duchess was out okay. Shays Way led them initially from Bedouin Villa and Sussex Duchess. Lady of Steel taken hold of. Looks for some cover. Figurante's left out wider and Kawa pushing up along the inside, but not a lot of speed on, and as a result there's only a couple of lengths covering all runners here as they made their way up towards the 1,000. Shays Way just had the front from Sussex Duchess, who's out of trouble sitting outside of the leader. Kawa third the inside. Fourth is Bedouin Villa, and then came Figurante, who's left three deep, and a length away last is Lady of Steel as they moved off the back. So Shays Way, 700 to go, led by a neck on Sussex Duchess, a length on Kawa third, and then Figurante around Bedouin Villa, and a length and a half to Lady of Steel as they run down to the home turn. So Shays Way, a narrow leader from the odds-on favourite Sussex Duchess. John Allen's about to ask her to do a bit more. Kawa in third as the pace really picks up. Figurante, Lady of Steel, Bedouin Villa amongst runners into the straight. Shays Way is pushing Sussex Duchess a little bit here with 300 to go. Kawa comes off their backs a length away. Sussex Duchess has drawn level with Shays Way, but Kawa's gradually closing on the pair. Shays Way, Sussex Duchess and Kawa. Shays Way kicks on hard. Sussex Duchess and Kawa knuckling down late. They reach the line. Photo finish between Kawa and...
Yeah, thank you, Cretters. A very happy Matt Kamani's joining us. Matt, Adam was just touching on the potential backstory for this horse. Can you enlighten us, please?
Well, I think you'd have to talk to the Rising Sun boys. Shiny's here, so he's the one that would probably fill you in a bit. It's unusual for a Japanese horse of theirs to come and not run in their colours. So I think this was one an owner had a particular idea to bring over and race her in Australia to try and get a win and to get a bit of sort of international form on her page. And thankfully, it's worked at the first start. I was a little bit, but suppose lacked a bit of confidence coming into today because she's quite a difficult filly to get a handle on in her work in the morning. She can be a bit keen, but her jump outs have been good, and Owen got there on the line just in time, didn't he? I didn't think he had it, but it was a good ride in the end.
When she lobbed in your stable, had you had much of a exposure to her Japanese runs, and what was it about them that you'd liked watching the replays?
No, very little really. The only thing you have to like when a horse comes from Japan is that the quality is very high over there, and you know she's a horse that was unplaced in 4 starts, and although she got close and and some of those races weren't bad, you're always a little bit apprehensive of a horse that's unplaced and has not been able to win a maiden yet. But we've seen time and time again that those sort of horses can be very competitive here, certainly in our sort of average maidens. And you hope that one of them will show a lot of potential, and this one, being relatively unexposed, could potentially go on for it.
What about this girl's work into today's assignment? You mentioned that you might not have been sure if she was going to be a winning chance first start in Australia, but you must have thought she was going okay.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, mainly based on her jump outs. Her jump outs have been good, and they've improved with each one. She's gotten better and better, but her work in the morning is difficult because she wants to go flat out. She thinks she's a sort of 5 furlong sprinter, and yet form would suggest she wants a little bit further, although that's inconclusive. So I suppose we were just sort of fact-finding today, and it looked like that was a perfect trip for her, really. She seemed to settle pretty well. It wasn't the plan to go back. She just came out the barriers a bit slow, and Owen didn't panic, and he let her relax, and she got there in the end. Probably a mile would suit her best.
Go get in the photo. Execution and a good ride by this man, Owen Walsh. Owen, congratulations. She's a fascinating horse, isn't she? Did you come to the races thinking that she'd be capable of winning first start in Australia?
Look, she improved a lot from her trial to her jump out. I didn't think today was an overly difficult race. I thought Johnny Allen was my main danger, but it proved obviously Declan Bates' horse had him beat a long way out. But I wanted to lead, but she was just a bit fractious in the barriers, and I just ended up taking a sit behind him, and I was on Johnny's back, and I just thought at the 300 I thought I'd win easier. But I said she just struggled to get there. Just greenness, expected, because we haven't had the gun to her head much.
Is she a nice enough horse? Have you had a bit to do with her at home? Clearly, is there a bit of a motor there, do you think?
Oh, look, she'll get further. She just needs to learn how to race. Now, she was good today, but when I jumped her out, she just got racing me really early, and she did a strong jump out, which I thought was good enough to win today. But obviously, just with the race fitness, I thought we would need it. What
about conditions today, Owen? Is it going to be pivotal to be sort of in that 3-wide running line and staying out of the kickback, do you think? Or?
No, I think you can be pretty versatile here. The maidens probably throw up funny results because the better horse is normally more prominent. I think in the handicaps you'll be able to ride a race.
Well done.
Thank you.